I started watching, I was like, okay, this is going to go south at some point. Like sooner or later, something is going to happen.
Wow, this is your boat.
Welcome to my home.
As the story develops, you feel that you know the characters, and it's like you're diverting from that notion more and more. You never really get to know anybody. That contrast between the very beginning and then the third person coming in to like shuffle things in such an unexpected way. What's your take on it?
Oh, I think you're completely right.
Oh my God! Okay, you're gonna help me?
They go out into the water and it all seems okay, but it starts to get a little more stormy as the film goes on.
She's going to come after you.
Can you believe him?
I love that it feels like the film really is split into 3 parts. The first part definitely feels like a romantic comedy, and you know, it's a bit weird, and there are a couple of things you go, what's going on there? But you trust and you relax into it, just as my character trusts and relaxes into it. And then suddenly, bam, you just hit with this complete spanner in the works, this third character who changes the whole dynamic in so many different ways. And then the third half is just chaos. You don't know what's going to happen next. And every new thing that happens just makes you more confused and keeps you on your toes. Yeah, that's my take.
Who's this? What's his problem anyway?
Those guys don't take the out-of-towners. Do you want to get out of her?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know her better than anybody. How would you describe her?
I would describe her as being very naive. I think she hasn't really had that many experiences in the world, and she is desperate to have experiences, to see things and do things and kind of run away from her life.
Hey, hi. Do you have any idea what happened to you?
I would say Lexi is a rightfully crazy young woman who has been, you know, I mean, people say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I'm sure that's like Shakespeare or something, but that is exactly what Lexi is all about, you know.
What did you think of her, you know, on the paper? And now that it's over, that it's done, how do you think she dissociates or is similar to what you read in the initial stage?
Right, I mean, I loved the character when I first read her, you know. I mean, she's absolutely mental and pretty tough, you know, and I love tough women, so it's always massively fun to play. I think on the, you know, on the page in the script, I could see all that stuff, but I wasn't really sure how she was gonna feel until I got on set, you know. And once I'd embodied her and everything, she really obviously started to feel like a real person, and it started to feel a little less ludicrous, you know, a little less crazy. Like, this is actually how I would act in this situation.
Is there anything at all that you would have done differently, you, Jessica, different than...
Honestly, I probably would have just thrown him in the sea a hell of a lot sooner.
You attacked me.
She attacked me.
This is definitely a different dynamic, you know, in every sense of the way. What would you say is the main difference between doing this, which was done in the water, and anything else that you've done like in studio or outdoors, but not really in the ocean?
It was crazy, you know, there's not much space on the boat for an entire film crew. We had one boat that we were filming on, and then we had a speedboat, and then we had a big boat for loads of camera equipment and stuff like that. But it was definitely a challenge, you know. I've mainly shot in houses and yeah, sets and studios and stuff. So it was pretty special being out in the open, you know. It's like really beautiful there in Cornwall. I grew up going there a lot in the summer.
We filmed the movie in Cornwall, which is in the southwest of England, just one of the most beautiful places in England. It doesn't feel like what I think England is represented as, but it's very wild and beautiful and so much like stunning nature.
It is a stunning place, you know. You sort of in between takes, you just sit back on the boat and look out to the sea, and we saw dolphins, and at lunchtime we'd all jump in and swim and go tear around on jet skis just for fun, you know. I mean, it was great. It was great. I'll never forget it, for sure.
The sea can be calm and still and glassy and gorgeous, but it can also be rough and rocky. And as cast and crew, we went through all of those weathers together.
I grew up pretty scared of the ocean, honestly, and I grew up terrified of boats. Like, I hated being on boats for years. And so to be on this movie when I've kind of gotten over that fear and be sort of blasting around on speedboats to get to set every day and be fine with it, even in like the pitch black of night, I was like, I've really upgraded my mentality here, you know?
He's not a good guy, Jess. He drugged you. Just another one of his conquests.
What do you think is the event in the movie that really, you know, shifts things and turns everything around? And after you tell me which one, in your opinion, is that event that changes everything, what would you have done differently to like change the course of action in the movie and have a different movie in the end?
That's a good question. I think the real moment that changes things is when Jess sees Ben about to throw Lexi's body off the boat. I think that's the real moment she realizes she can't trust him, and actually maybe Lexi was right all this time. Oh, what would I have done to change it though? It's so difficult because at the end of the day she is trapped on that boat in the middle of the ocean. What would I have done to change it? Maybe just like fought Lexi back a bit more, so I could like, yeah, just like fought back, like, so I could tell her or shout and tell her I knew that she was right. You know, just in that moment, just say it, Jess. Ben's knocked out, you can do it.